So, you've just got Animal Crossing New Horizons, and after your first initial play session, you've probably got a few questions on what exactly you should be doing. This game starts off very differently from previous entries in the series, so it's not exactly clear how you should go about your day-to-day routines right at the start. Well, don't fret, because today, I'm going to be telling you things that I think you should do on your first few days on the island to help get you guys up and running as quickly as possible. Alright, so first things first, if you've picked an island with lots of rivers or streams, you might be wondering how you go about reaching the other sections of the island since there's no bridges. The solution is quite simple. After your tent is set up on the island and you've woken up from your first night's sleep, donate at least 5 bugs or fish to Tom Nook inside his tent. He sends these items to Blathers, who after receiving them, will call Tom Nook and tell him that he's going to set up shop on the island the following day. Mr. Nook will give you a tent so you can choose a location for Blathers, and one real-life day after you pick a plot of land for him, he'll show up on the island. Talk to Blathers once he moves in, and after he finishes his spiel, he'll give you the DIY recipe for a vaulting pole. Once you craft this, you can easily jump across the rivers and streams all over your island to access all the different areas. Now, if you want a more permanent solution, keep playing for a few days after you get your first house and unlock Nook's Cranny. Eventually, Tom Nook will mention that 3 more villagers are interested in moving to your island and ask you to plot out a place and collect enough resources to build a bridge. Once Tom Nook gives you that recipe, you can pretty much make as many bridges as you could possibly want. Now, the next thing you're probably wondering is how to get the shovel. At the start of the game, you can craft a fishing rod, an axe, and a net, but no shovel. Well, that's because again, you need Blathers in order to get the recipe. So basically just do everything that you did in order to get the vaulting pole, and at the same time, Blathers will also give you instructions for making a shovel. From there, it's important to note that you should use the shovel to hit every rock on the island. Like previous installments in Animal Crossing, one rock will be a money rock and you can earn bells from hitting it. But additionally, every rock will also drop materials like stone, clay, iron, and gold, which are extremely helpful in crafting better tools, so you'll want to collect as many of them as you possibly can. And speaking of better tools, you're probably wondering how you can make tools that don't break faster than the weapons in Breath of the Wild. And this one's a little more complicated. So if you've been playing the game for a fair bit, I'm sure you're familiar with Nook Miles by now. After you pay off your move-in fees and upgrade to a house, Tom Nook will upgrade your membership to Nook Miles Plus. Once you are a Plus member, you can use the ATM-looking device inside his tent and purchase the Pretty Good Tools recipe pack for 3,000 Nook Miles, which sounds like a lot, I know, but that shouldn't be too bad since they give you a lot of ways to earn miles right at the beginning of the game, plus bonus ways once you become a Plus member. Either way, once you get the recipe pack, you'll be able to make much better tools assuming you have the right materials. Now, another useful upgrade you'll want to spend Nook Miles on is the inventory upgrade. When you start the game, your inventory is limited to just a handful of items, and once you have a full set of tools, it becomes difficult to carry things around since you'll always be low on space. Thankfully again, if you use the machine inside Nook's tent, you can purchase an inventory upgrade titled the Pocket Organization Guide for a mere 5,000 Nook Miles. It's a lot, but it's definitely worth it. Now, I should mention that these upgrades are only available to Plus members, so try and pay off your tent and get a house as soon as possible. This upgrade gives you a much needed expanded inventory and makes collecting resources a lot easier. You might also want to spend another 800 Nook Miles in order to get the tool ring. It lets you quickly bring up a menu to equip and unequip tools. It's useful and saves a lot of time, but I also wouldn't prioritize it over the other previous 2 upgrades. In my opinion, you should get this one, but get it after the other 2. So now that you're settled on the island and you've been collecting resources, you're probably wondering what you can do to make the most of your time. Well, again, Nook Miles will help you out. So once the airport opens on, I believe the 2nd or 3rd day, Tom Nook will give you a Nook Miles ticket for free, but they can also be purchased inside his tent for 2,000 Nook Miles. These travel tickets let you travel to a small remote island, and here you can find even more resources including fossils, fruit that isn't native to your island, coconut, bamboos, flour, fish, bugs, and all sorts of goodies. You'll always find at least one villager who you can talk to, and if you want to, you might even be able to convince them to move to your island. Going to these islands is a great way to build up resources, and because you don't revisit the same island, feel free to completely trash them and devastate their natural resources. Take as much from these islands as you possibly can. Even grass weeds can be useful for crafting things, so leave nothing behind if you have the space for it. Now lastly, I've been talking about Nook Miles a lot, so this might seem obvious, but try to earn as many Nook Miles as you can. The Nook Miles app on your Nook phone keeps track of things that you can do on the island to earn miles. Some of these are as simple as picking up weeds and fishing, while others require you to craft items and such. When you become a Nook Miles Plus member, you get access to a supply of much easier tasks to rack up even more miles, so I suggest doing as many of those as you can. That way you can keep spending your miles on travel tickets or whatever else you think you might need. Anyway, hopefully these tips are helpful for anyone starting a new life in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Keep in mind that these are just intended to be helpful for the first few days of play, and after that, I'm sure you'll discover other and better methods to do just about everything I've described here. I haven't even touched on earning bells in this guide because, quite frankly, you don't need a lot of bells in the beginning of the game. And that being said, if you like this video and would like more of this content in the future, please let me know in the comments down below. I've actually secretly been a huge Animal Crossing fan since I was introduced to the series way back when. Additionally, if you got tips of your own on behalf of myself and the community, feel free to share them in the comments or join my Discord via the link in the description. Alright, that's enough rambling. As always, if you enjoyed this video, a like would be greatly appreciated. And once again, guys, my name is Matt. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.